Heather Petersen had everything going for her family, church, and a love of life. But it all suddenly ended one night back in 2018.
A driver ran into her as she was heading home to Heber City. For every crime, there's a story, and the truth matters. Here's ABC4's senior crime and punishment correspondent Marcos Ortiz in studio with tonight's Justice Files.
Now, according to law enforcement, Jose Lozoya Teles tried to blame Heather Petersen for the car crash, but the evidence just didn't support that. 3 years after being sent to prison, he's now asking for forgiveness and says he's learned a valuable lesson.
She was a beautiful daughter, a very wonderful young lady, full of love, caring. Like my son said, she was radiant. She brought light anywhere she went.
But all that ended on January 15, 2018. It was a head-on collision on Highway 189 near the Deer Creek Reservoir in Wasatch County. Authorities say Heather Petersen's sedan was sheared off on one side, killing her instantly.
This is uncommon. It's just one of those high-speed angle collisions that, unfortunately, this happened.
Authorities later learned Jose Lozoya Teles was driving drunk and on drugs when he crossed the median and hit Petersen's vehicle. That night, traffic was backed up for miles. Petersen's younger brother, who was with another family, drove past the carnage.
He did not recognize the car at all when he drove by it because of the damage that had been done to it.
He later learned that he had been looking at his sister's car.
It was tough on him. It's been really tough on him. And he's slowly been coming to terms with his feelings.
And it's been just as painful for her parents and many siblings that she's left behind, but their faith is slowly mending their broken hearts.
Thankfully, we each have our own very strong connection with our Savior.
Jose Lozoya Teles was sentenced up to 5 years in prison. This past Tuesday, he appeared before a member of the parole board.
First of all, I want to ask for forgiveness to the parents of the girl, also to the younger siblings. My heart is broken as well. I feel bad. I did not do this intentionally.
Josie Petersen's family was also present at the virtual parole hearing. She didn't feel Lozoya Teles has yet to accept responsibility. She, like the rest of the family, wants him to remain in prison. These days, there's a sign on Highway 189 near mile marker 23. It serves as a reminder of a young woman who had lived life fully and had big plans. Her mother knows she'd want them to move on by following Heather's philosophy.
Instead of being bitter, be better.
Now, Lozoya Teles was in the U.S. illegally for the second time. He'd been deported before. Now, Josie Petersen knows that her daughter would still be alive if the nation's immigration policy wasn't broken. She says it has to be fixed, otherwise this type of tragedy will keep repeating itself. Now, for Lozoya Teles, he remains in prison. The parole board will soon decide if he gets paroled. But if he does, immigration is aware and plans on deporting him once more. For the Justice Files, Marcos Ortiz, ABC4 News.